Hello, everybody. How's everybody on this lovely Sunday? Hello, Becca. How are you, dear? I guess I already know that, don't I? Just talked to you. But yeah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, guys. How is it in your neighborhood today? Is it warm? Is it chilly? It's been a pretty mild day, mid 70s. Um, just trying to clean up, get some stuff picked up and cleaned up that we need to put away for the season. Getting a little early start on that, but the stuff that we're not using right now, we're going ahead and packing up, like this fountain that is going to need a new little motor for it next year because the one I'd had it a long time and it was a rough summer, let's just say. So it kind of it did its thing, got its money's worth. So yeah, and so we're gonna do a garden update today, guys, and it's gonna be a really long live, maybe an hour. I'm also gonna do open panel if anybody wants to jump up and talk about their weekend or what they've been up to. It's been really windy lately. I've been having to tie curtains together out here in the patio area. I put a sidewall on, and well, when it's not windy, it's perfect. It blocks the wind and stuff away from us, keeps it a little warmer here at night. But yeah, it's been real windy, so that's why I have it tucked up into the back of the chair right now to keep it in place. So everything's kind of tucked in. And then I don't know if I think I did show you guys this like makeshift aquarium I hooked up for outdoors. Um, I've got the heater I put in finally today, and so we're gonna give it a few days. I don't know how long it really takes, but we're gonna try to attempt to see how many days it takes to. I set it at 78, and it's when I put it in, it was 68.5. So, but I think we're just gonna put like a couple snails and a few goldfish in there is all we're gonna put out here for this outdoor thing, and they're more apt to be able to like adjust to different water temperatures. So ain't gonna have to be anything too fancy, but yeah, I'll take the lid off and show you the inside of this crazy thing. And what did I do? That's what the light, or did the light just go off at that moment? Probably. Let me see. Am I unplugged? Let me try to figure out this cord situation, guys. I think there's got a lot of stuff twisted here, so we're gonna unwind it and then I'll be able to figure this out. Okay. Oops. All right, let's try this again. We can do the green light, dark green light, blue light, dark blue. It has quite a few lights settings on it. We'll do it on blue for a while, but yeah, I got some floating plants in here. But the water, now the filter's been on, so that's that long thing there. And I don't know what's on there, but some of these floating plants aren't doing so good because they have to have light. And I'm thinking about putting that on the lid so that the light's going down in instead of, it's a submersible though. And then the heater's right there, which I just, like I said, started that today. Filters on, light, and then I got things in here. There's a few things I probably would add in here, but we weren't sure what we are going to do with this, if we were just going to wait until next season. But we've already spent all the time with the water and got it all treated out, so I think we're going to go for it. And then we will be bringing inside whatever goes in here and then upgrading my beta fish's tank to a bigger one. And then I'm going to set that one up for my daughter for Christmas. I'm going to do a beta and a snail in there for her so that I don't have to worry about where to go with that tank. I've already got a home for it. And so, hello, Tiffles. Hi, honey. So, yeah, so this crazy thing, trying to figure things out. I wish I would have come up with this idea earlier in the season. Because I was kind of thinking more of like a pond effect, like having more of like a pond type feature. And if you get certain kinds of goldfish, well, certain goldfish can be in different temperatures and environments. They can be aquarium or pond. So that's what I'm gonna go for. It's just something simple like that. And yeah, so yeah, and I noticed there's a little algae going on in here, which is kind of interesting considering the filters in there. But the filter can also kind of loosen that stuff up, and we clean the hell out of the rocks and the stuff that we actually put in here. So I'm pretty sure it's more the issue of that filter's like horizontally in there, so it's like facing down, so it's running the moving waters going across the bottom where everything settles. So yeah, okay, here we go. Sorry guys. Holy moly. Yeah. So I decided to put my the cucumber um planters that had came with a greenhouse cover. And because we've had such weird temperatures and windy weather, I was getting really concerned about the condition of them. So we decided to put that cover back on. Oh, my screen thing just went back over my camera. Ain't that wild? I had to lock it. There we go. If it ain't one thing, it's another. I think we're going to see if we can't pick that thing up, though, you guys, and put it up here on the table. It'll be easier for us to deal with. Well, either way, because I'm short, so either way's for me. But this down here is a moving cart with a piece of wood on it. And since the kids are moving a bunch of heavy stuff, we're going to use that for that purpose. Um, so it's going to get moved. But we tried to pick it up and we couldn't do it. So we're going to wait for some help for backup. What did I do this morning? Yeah, we fixed some stuff. I took some plants and kind of like I'm trying to get some pots put away for the season. So I took some plants out of some places. These ones over here, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with them just yet. I got to do some research to see if I think these are probably annuals, not perennials, but we'll see if they're not, then my plan is, my husband had to mow right after I changed the pool water, is to plant these maybe up front or somewhere and get them out of these pots so I can kind of start putting some of this up. But here we go. We're going to venture to the back. We're going to the back. And usually I wait a little bit, but let me go back here and check out what I've been doing back here because I've been cutting out a lot of stuff, trimming stuff down, and I kind of got a little carried away the other day. And the sweet potato grow bags, they had such an overwhelming amount of like, just the growth was just everywhere, and it was uncontrollable. So I went ahead and trimmed them all back, which they will regrow. There was a lot of damaged leaves. We had a lot of bug problems until I started using some organic methods that started helping with all of the treatment of that. So they're starting to come back. But and then this was that Bigfoot sweet potato. The one in the orange is how I always identify it. But I've trimmed the top off of this several times, and it's grown back. They'll just keep growing back. So, ooh, he got me some clamps. All right, so here's the cucumbers now. And now, like I said, the wrap is on. So, like at night or when it's windy, I just pulled that down. They're pretty slim pickings now. I took out everything that was bad, and diseased, or anything that wasn't looking good. Got a nice one right here, guys. The shapes are getting better ever since I started treating them. So we got a few in here. We got some little bitty over here. And so then I'm just draping them, which is the way they vine. So I'm draping them. Now this was, it had tomatoes growing, like as an example, when I got it on Amazon. It said for any vining plants, but this is where I'm going to do my tomatoes next year because this will be way better. And then what I did on this side was, like I said, I cleaned out all the dead. Everything over here I'd already just kind of wiped out and cleaned out of there. So I got everything pulled out. And because I found out recently that you can plant certain crops in the fall, and that the cucumbers, as long as I keep them warm and keep them fed, they will keep producing for a little while yet still, especially with this cover on. So I went ahead and planted another, but I only did 4. One in each corner, one in each corner. So they each have a side. So that's way less than what I had done before. And so like basically if you want to keep your produce going and growing, all your veggies, you kind of, well, I should be doing it crisscross, but you plant after you start harvesting, you start growing another plant so that when that one's done, then you've got another one that's producing. So hello, welcome. Iowa. I'm in Iowa. Okay, so Basically, so we're going to let those grow, and this is the perfect thing to basically, you know, get them to seed and germinate because it traps the heat inside. And then in this one, there was a single cucumber plant. That one was in horrible shape. It had gotten horribly infested with some kind of bugs, started attacking it, and ants up front. And oh, yeah, I'm in Cedar Rapids too, hun. Hi, welcome. And so I went ahead and planted one single one in here. So we're going to see what happens, guys. Okay. I'm coming around here. And aromas are doing amazing, guys. Look at that. Ever since I started using the organic fertilizer, kind of getting them fed better, they started ripening, turning red for me. Now, aromas aren't supposed to be really big. These got a little bit more time. I'm still feeding them a little bit. I don't trip over myself, but so they're really producing well. I was a little concerned. I did thin these out. There was quite a few in here, but since it's aroma, they're smaller plants and smaller tomatoes. If I had a single tomato, bigger size regular tomatoes in here, this would have been too small of a planter for that. But I mean, look at how healthy these vines are. There's a couple of them here that are really, really good. Okay, and over here we've got the yellow pear, and they're doing pretty good too. I'll have to figure out exactly what size these have to be to pick because I've seen one already over here that looks like it's no good, so we'll have to pull that one. Yeah, it fell off. I'll let one of the animals or the bird. But yeah, so these are coming in pretty good. I'm not sure why they're splitting though. That's not a good thing. So I'll have to do some research on that to figure that out because that's kind of weird. But yeah, so we got those. Oh goodness, let me grab this. Put those in my pocket so I don't drop them anywhere else. Okay, and then here we have the watermelons. Now this contraption here, I got was 3 grow bags, and then you have your whole trellis. And these are perfect cucumbers, but I already planted my cucumbers. So basically, I figured, well, since we can't really dig up our ground here where we live, I figured I would go ahead and grow these vertically because I saw another gardener do it. And so that's what I'm attempting to do. I've had to clean these out. They had gotten infested too, and I've treated them and had to cut a lot of foliage off, you guys. And the foliage is starting to come back around, but some of it you have to get rid of because it'll just stunt the plant, or then the disease could get into the vegetable or the fruit, sorry, the watermelon. So our very first watermelon, which I don't know why it's in such terrible shape, but we have boards holding and supporting them. This is our first one, the very first one that came up. And it's a deeper, darker green. Plant 2 different kinds of watermelon too. So there's that. So that's the biggest one. And then we got one over here. Now this is a different style. They're called the baby. And it's going to get to be about 4 pounds. So these are a little lighter colored, organic ones. We've got some itty bitties coming in. Let me see if I can find some of the babies that are growing. They're pretty cute. That's probably the smallest. When you first notice them, it's really tiny, very minuscule. Got another one right there. Wherever you see flowers, like on any plants, the flowers are kind of your dead giveaway that there's going to be a watermelon or fruit or whatever, growing is going to be coming in. So got that. We got one right there that's coming along pretty good. Got another one over there. What do we got over here? We've got all of them in different state of growth. We've got one here, one there. This guy right here, which he's on a solo cup to support him because he's low on the vine. Another one here. I believe this vine, I'm vining it up. It's looking a little rough. I'm not sure why. Watermelon takes a lot of water, and it's been getting really cold at night, and I don't think they like the cold. So we've got one here. This one here, I don't think it's produced anything yet, but the plant is growing and it's healthy. So I'm going to let it go, and we're going to get some out of that. And then this one here on this side, my husband, hey honey, did you cut down a smaller board for this support over here? But see how these leaves look? Well, the majority of the ones I had to cut off here look like that because literally they got infested. These bugs just came and attacked these. And when I first planted them, they looked absolutely amazing, guys. and I've been out here trimming them and keeping them, trimmed down and pruned. Um, I'm not sure what's going to happen to this guy because his vine was in such bad shape. I had to take so much of it off. I do see some fresh foliage growing there, right there. Let's see if I can get this off. Yeah, so hopefully some of these will come back around with what I've been feeding them. The cucumber concentrate that I bought, and you mix it with a gallon of water. It's also for other vegetables and stuff too as well. So I've been feeding it to the cucumbers. I've been feeding it to the tomatoes and to the watermelon. And so what I'll do is I'll mix it up and then I'll pour it in along the bottom of, where the roots come out, where all the vines go down. And then I'll water on top to get that, make sure that all gets down in there deep. But that's what I've been working on with. Set everybody right there. And this, even flanky here, we're germinating some seeds as well. And so I've got plastic over it because it just really helps keep the heat in. And it kind of keeps that warmth in. So at night when it gets cooler, it really helps. Trust me, it really does. Because the key is moisture and warmth to get the seeds to germinate. Okay, so I have all these crazy handles, and I'm not sure why I can't hook them together. But anyway, these down here. Alrighty then. Now maybe I can actually get in here and show y'all. Hi, Mary Jane Doe. How are you, hon? Okay. You have a fine, clean garden. What does your fall planting consist of? Okay, so I just recently did some researching, and there's a number of vegetables that are good for fall harvest. And so the funny thing is, what I've been growing, what I started late, actually, this is funny, is actually some of those vegetables. So fascinatingly, me and my daughter, before summer break was over, had planted baby carrots on this side, romaine lettuce, and a mixed lettuce. Well, long story short, we don't know what happened, and none of that came up. Um, I have no clue. And this was over a month ago. This was probably 6 weeks ago. And then I decided to put plastic over it. And once I did that, it actually locked that heat in. And then we started getting stuff. So we've got some carrot plants here, which are these beautiful fern looking type plants. Now, this is somehow one of the lettuce seeds must have got over in here. We don't know how. It might have gotten watered and it moved. I don't know. So that's a mixed green lettuce. So what I did was, because I did that research, and he said this is the fall harvest if you can plant. So I replanted those seeds. And so we've got romaine lettuce and another mixed lettuce going in here. That one's not doing too good in there. So it looks like we need some water in here. Yeah. No, we're good. We're good. Yeah, so that's plenty watered there. So that's kind of what I got going on in there. Hoping to be able to, get something out of it, I hope. Sure, we had one plant right here. It looks like it just kind of killed over, y'all. So whatever. So that may not make it, but hey, I planted more in there. So there's some stuff that can definitely be planted in the fall now. My plan is, because of my watermelons being all these different growth stages, but quite a ways off from it, and we're really close to frost because we got these in so late, that what we're going to end up doing is getting a greenhouse for outdoors. And what we'll do is we will set it up, combine these things together in kind of the shape of the greenhouse, and take in the stuff that needs to keep growing but needs to be inside. Because the watermelon, I got to keep them moist but warm. So that's my thing there. I almost wish, if it wasn't so hard, moving the watermelons for now over here onto this pallet, or moving pallets basically, so that they can get more warmth because the sun is hotter over here. I mean, that's blocking it. So at high noon, but I'm saying all day around sun, I should have flipped these around. So cucumbers would have been better off on the right side and the watermelon left. So this is something I've learned this year, and I would that's what I'll do next year. So hopefully we can get. I looked at them on Amazon. Not bad price wise. I believe they were like ranged from like 70 to 120, depending on the size you get. I'll have to get a fairly decent sized one to for this bed to fit in, and then I figured I'll do this trellis thing on the other side. So there'd be one thing, long thing on each side, and then at the end, the cucumbers stands right there. So that's the plan for that. My husband got me some clamps. Hold this plastic down. But funny enough, I'm so weak I can't even open these bitches. They're so fucking hard. So he's gonna be putting those on, y'all. Because I just tried to open that and it's not happening. And my marigolds in my flower boxes are just not happy because of the cold. So the ones up here, they're trying to hold on. They're doing their usual bloom and they die, bloom and they die. And you just take the tops off, as my lovely friend Beachy has told me many times. Just pop off the top. And, that's the one thing I didn't know when I first started doing the gardening thing, is about how important it was to get rid of anything dead, any extra stuff, because it takes nutrients and water from the good stuff. Now here's these ones. Sometimes I'll be down to like a couple flowers, right? But look at all the blooms that are there. Now here's the trick with these too, is they don't like a ton of sun all day long. So I try to remember sometimes, and I forgot today, to come in here and to put this down back here in the shade and then bring it back out. Give it part of the day some sun, but then give it a break. So yeah. So that's what's going on back here. And like I said, hopefully we can get a greenhouse. Now we'll have to figure out if the greenhouse will have to be set on pallets or if we'll put it on the ground. Because I'm not sure exactly how they design it to anchor it down. So I'll do more research. But here's the sign that me and the kids worked on. And of course, I was trying to show it last time, and it was way too dark out here at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. But it turned out pretty decent. I'm probably gonna have hubby take it down, and I'm gonna put another layer of an outdoor stain on there just to give it extra coverage. But it'll be down during the winter time. We won't leave it up. Anyway, but yeah. So our initials are up there. We all put our initials at the top. And like I said, we kind of got to start over a little bit too far in the middle. And then the letters were really big. And then I was like, oh gosh, what are we going to do? And I was trying to get guard in there. But, hey, it was a quick thing. We did it really fast. We didn't have a lot of time. It was their last day here. I don't know why we waited so long, but we had so many other things going on. So just so excited. And the kids, it's special that we did these projects together. And me and my daughter, we did a lot of planting. A lot of this, I had a lot of it started, but I saved things just for the kids. I think the watermelon we planted when they got here, the sweet potatoes, and then me and her did all the lettuce and carrots in there. So I was getting really bummed because I wanted them to like germinate before she left so she could see them, and they didn't. And then I remembered the trick about putting the plastic over and keep trapping that warmth in there. And sure enough, that's all it took. So every time I've had to do that, it's always worked. So it's a great trick. That and mulch, because the mulch allows the moisture from when you are watering stuff to actually, it really helps. So I'm gonna fold that back there because as you can see, this is getting pretty tall. So at some point, like I said, this design won't work. And now, of course, I'll allow these to have their air and stuff, but leave this on for the rest of these so we can germinate. So yeah. And I think I might have planted a couple more carrot seeds in here because as you can see, there's a few more spots open. So yeah. So I did that. And yeah, I love it. And it's been fun and it's kept me busy and kept me moving around and not thinking about how bummed out life can be sometimes. So this has been a really great experience. Yeah, home sweet home, right? And we live in like a community, so they have rules and you can't like dig up the ground and do a garden. Well, that part of the yard underneath that big area was already dug up from like raised beds on the ground, kind of like those over there. And I wanted something completely different. So we set this whole thing up and I designed a whole pallet garden. None of this would cost us anything. We built that raised bed out of pallets, the flower boxes on the ends, because you're supposed to partner your growing vegetables with certain flowers and they're supposed to ward off bugs. Well, let me tell you, I think I needed a million marigolds around my cucumbers. But we started getting back here and spraying the right stuff, and I started learning all the secrets, and then things got great. Look at all those vegetables, Mary Jane Doe. You're funny. I just hope there's some sweet potatoes in there. I think I did dig in here and found one that was about junior size, and I just left it alone because it's not big enough to take out yet. But these are supposed to be pulled by first frost. Otherwise, they don't do well. So that greenhouse is really going to come in handy. I told my husband it can be a late birthday present. He was broke at the time, so ooh, look, I found some farmer bibs, man. What up? Who wants to see Bigfoot and some farmer bibs? Are they your size, honey? Oh my god, you have got to put those on sometime so we can fucking have fun with that. Do you know how many views we'd get Bigfoot in a farmer's bibs? If you had the Sasquatch top headpiece, would be perfect. Aww, that's awesome. Look, y'all. Anybody remember these doodads? These are some antiques, y'all. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Wow. Those are cool, dude. I ain't seen a pair of them in forever. We're gonna walk up here to the front and see what's going on. Like I said, a lot of things got infested, and a lot of the weather that we had, the extreme humidity, wind and rains, all those things added together cause more problems and diseases with your plants. So it doesn't even have to be about some bugs biting on them. It goes deeper than that. Trust me. I'm learning all this. So yeah, up here I had the lilies planted on each side. They looked absolutely hideous, y'all. I just cut them all the way down to the ground, and they said if your roots at the ground are not still green, if they look bad, which these do, I'll probably dig them out the rest of the way. Then the plant's dead, and so I just got to finish getting after those, um, taking those out. Anyway, sorry if I'm flipping the camera on. Anyway, okay. Over here, I had a pot with a bunch of these little plants in them. I always forget what they're called. Anyway, I decided to go ahead and just put this in the ground. I'm pretty sure this is probably an annual, y'all, and won't come back, but I'm trying to clean out some of the flower pots and get downsized on some of this stuff. These still look like they might come back a little bit, so I'm not going to take these out yet. These forget-me-nots. And then the rest of those, because I had 4 of them in one, I put in here in the bottom of this planter right there. So there's 3 of same kind of plants. They were end of the year clearance, and my husband went in and spent $5 and we got like 8 plants. So I was trying to save, those poor plants that nobody wanted to take home. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, and then these finally decided to start blooming. They hadn't been getting the best of watering, even though there's a fountain above, because sometimes I forget up here and it's shadier up front. So here, let me go grab, while we're talking about it, some water, because my fountain up front is sputtering because it needs more water. Sorry. Sometimes I become a person from another country. You never know. It just happens. It's like one of my daughters does it too, and she doesn't even plan for it. It just like blurts out of her mouth at random times. Okay, here we go. Set everybody down. Get some water to spout there. Come on, water. There we go. How's that? There we go. Yeah, it looks like it's had plenty of water, so I won't mess with this anymore. But try to give it support. Because I had one of these plants that just kept falling forward because the stem was so long. It's kind of an awkward plant anyway. Sorry, I always forget what these are called. I think I don't know if they're called petunias. They might be. Let's see if they get wet. They have like velvety leaves, y'all. And if they get wet, they get funky. But they're very pretty purple. I love them. I think they're gorgeous. This is my begonia, and when I seen it advertised, it had bright, like lilac colored blooms on it, or blue. This is what color they are, y'all. And then we're not what they said, and I don't even know if this thing hasn't, started to die. All the leaves looked like this when I got it, but now there's a bunch of spots on it, which I think might be a form of a disease. Now, even when you treat them, which I did treat it when I found out, you can't necessarily, it's not going to just like go away, like the leaves won't get better. So I'm sure after winter, when this all dies out, hopefully the fresh version of it next year will be better, right? And here's my lovely peacocks with these are the begonias. That one's called something else, y'all. I'm losing my mind of what plants I'm saying. I'm telling you guys the wrong thing. These are the begonias. These right here. And these aren't doing all that great either because these were part of the end of the year plants, like I said. There was quite a few of them left behind that nobody bought. And I just stuck them in these planters, these peacocks. I stuck some fucking mulch in these things, you guys. These doggone things are so shallow, and they are in a lot of sun right here, and they just literally can't retain water. So I stuck some extra dirt in them, and with some mulch in it that I'd taken out of the my whatchamacallit, you guys, I can't even see my screen. Okay, so I took a bunch of mulch out of the cucumber basket, and I didn't want to put it back in there because you can't put that on there until after your plants grow through. So I took them out, and look, the peacock's peeing, guys. But I stuck it in there. Now they do make mulch, that little chips of mulch. It's like organic planted pot mulch, and it's smaller. And I do have that in all my little tiny pails, but just not that. So yeah, so everything's pretty much dying off. I don't know if we're gonna leave the hosta stems out or go through and trim them out. To be honest with you, I'd like to trim them out. That's just my thought. But Bigfoot is currently, after, well, being married for 6.5 years and knowing him almost 8, getting to the shed eventually because we're trying to do a lot of moving things. My twins are they got their first house today, and they're so excited, and they're sharing the residence because it's cheaper to live that way nowadays that the rent's so high. And so I have a lot of stuff of theirs in storage, and we have a lot of stuff there that just needs to go. So we're organizing stuff here in our other garage so we can empty out the storage that I've had for, well, the whole time I've lived here, so over 7 years. In 7 years, I could have built a million sheds that were big enough to take some of that on. So there's that. My buds are getting bigger. Right. Oh, the dogs are in there carrying on, y'all. They do not like the door shut, and I don't like to shut it all the way because they have this separation anxiety business going on, or whatever the fuck it is. So I try to open the door so that they know I'm just right outside it. Part of the problem is that weren't happy with their carrot snack they had. They right now want to eat dinner, and I told them they had to wait a little bit. Yeah, I could never hear when I'm inside. And now we have a neighbor across the way who has a little dog, and when they have their window open, that dog sits and barks at me because that's why I put this wall thing up too. I'm hoping he can't see us now. If he sees us out here and he'd be barking out the window, which then it changed my dogs to be barking at him. And it's like, oh my God, everybody hush. No, my goodness. My palm tree's getting huge, guys. And it's got to go in for the winter. It's basically an indoor plant, but I have it sitting. I had it out a lot in the summer, but I would bring it under here part of the day too, And now I just set it there, and in the morning part of the day, it's sunny right there. I just push the curtain back out of the way, and I have it on a roller so I can move it easier because it's heavy as fuck. So that will be inside during the winter months. And the pineapple parmalade plant up there will also be inside. Those are the only two indoor plants I got. So it's interesting. And I still have tons of sweet potato slips. I was giving them away for free. I haven't had very many people ask me now because of the season. If you had a greenhouse, you could do it. It wouldn't matter. You could probably even grow with a grow light. You could even grow like potatoes in bags in the wintertime easy if you had the space to have like a grow light inside of a nice warm room, and had them, made a nice clean area for them to sit in. I was making a joke a little bit ago. I said, heck, I'll plant those things back there. I'll stick those bags in the bathtub shower thing we don't use in the back. All you gotta do is put some holes at the bottom, and there's a main drain, right? Make a planter for the winter and put a light across the top of the shower. It was a funny thought, but hey, if you were really that desperate, you could. So yeah, we're going through stuff, selling stuff, taking stuff to, like the secondhand stores and stuff like that. We have one up here that they sell really nice stuff. And now they're getting really fussy though, to where like even certain things have to be in packages and stuff to even sell it. And stuff like that. So, but it's all good. I mean, we're all right with it. It's just we're trying to get rid of stuff. I've got stuff on Marketplace posted. Um, that is so wild though that we have a guest in here that's from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Honor. Did I say it right? Mary Jane, I was trying to figure out how to post the live in the Discord, and I figured out how to do it to you, but I was trying to put it into Leanie's. It didn't work. I don't know where I went wrong. I thought I was doing quite well. So yeah, so right now, I'm gonna get up and try it. We'll see, because every time I try to move this thing back down, you guys, it starts getting windy again. We're gonna see. Start it, because I mean, literally this morning I got up and it was so nice outside, and it wasn't windy or nothing. And then next thing I know, as soon as maybe 15 minutes later, it started up, and I'm like, oh great, here we go. The bad thing is, a little wind is not bad, but a lot of wind causes an issue, because when you're in here, everything's blowing at you. Like this sidewall literally like cut loose and just took off. And it was like all the way up inside here. It was wild, you guys. That thing right there, that sidewall. It goes to a different 10 by 10 canopy that we got like years ago. And the first year we had it, we didn't put it up because we just didn't end up doing it. And then when we did, it was up for a whole like 30 minutes, and some wind came along and broke something, and my husband took it down before I could even get outside. Easy Street with Jen. I've heard of that. Is that your channel? So interestingly enough, I decided when we got rid of that to just why not keep the sidewalls to it? If I get another one the same size, the difference is this one is a metal pop-up one that's sturdier, and the one we had the other time was like you kind of put it together like a tent. So these sidewalls obviously aren't as good as like if I'd have bought this one with sidewalls. But my actual original use for this was going to be like for camping and doing things like that. And if we had more guests than the umbrella could cover, but we didn't get that far. We didn't get our camping into this year, so. But we are going to soon get it ready, among other things. It's a gardening channel. Oh, okay, hun. All right, yeah. I've looked at so many things when I've been looking at, like when you're on YouTube and you're like asking a question about gardening, you get so many different, so RC. Oh my word. How are you, love? So good to see you. You always cheer me up. I was looking for you in Leanie's the last couple times I popped in and Hadn't seen you, but I'm sure everybody's on such crazy schedules these days. How do you even schedules? How do you do it, right? I take you back to the garden, RC, since you just came in. We went for a round, but we can go for another round because I don't mind. At least the yard. I mean, we have a decent sized yard. But if it was like an acreage with it, where I had to, I would have been sitting back there hanging out on a garden bench in the middle of a bunch of flowers. I'm just having a smoke break in me tent. It's pretty cozy in here, though. Like last night, it was getting kind of chilly, right? And when the wind's not blowing, and I pull the curtains down. Right now, I have it on the lowest height setting because with the wind, the higher you have it, the more wind it catches. And we learned our lesson, so we got it down because it's been windy all week. So it's at a lower setting, and the curtains are weighted, so they kind of weight it down also. But they're insulated. These ones on the front side here. This area right here is pretty open. I do have that curtain will come pretty much halfway over to here. But hell, I'll fucking get a little space heater or some kind of little fire type heater thing and set on this damn thing out here because I like being out here. It's nice to chill out here, It just gets so cold at night. I was out here last night and I was all had warm clothes on, a coat on. It was wild. Yeah, I mean, we're getting there. My husband's had 2 job interviews. He's got another one coming up. I'm hoping he gets the job quick because he's been out of work for a while and that's been really rough. Really rough. In these day and ages, there's no way to have 2 people in one household and not have income from everybody coming in because it's just necessary to be able to survive. I mean, unless you're by yourself and you don't have all the extra expenses of another person, then sometimes you can do it alone. Because I used to live by myself and do just fine. So, but yeah, I'm hoping so. Prayers and fingers crossed because that would really just make this week a lot better. Is if he could um, get back to work because I'm not sure if I'm going to have to postpone my cruise that's set up for October 11th through the 18th. If he don't go back to work, there's no way I'm going to be able to swing it. So I'm kind of bummed. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get my passport in time. I'm hoping. But money's been tough. And so I can't even, try to cough up 160 some dollars or 35, whatever it is for a passport. I'm just going to go get my ID upgraded to a real ID and pray for the best. I know, right, Becca? And we're trying to just get like things cleaned up for the season, Like I said, stuff that can stay out for a little bit longer. I'll leave the fountains out until, it's really cold because I love them. But then we'll clean those up. Those will be the last things we take down, but the plants will start dying off as they go. And the ones that are perennials, um, annuals, then they die off and they don't come back. So those are the ones I planted in all the buckets over there by the fountain. Hey, RC, I don't know if you've ever seen my new pond friends. We got ducks. We've got the turtles. We've got the flamingo that's been through hell, and China needs to figure out how to make better flamingos that don't like I don't know, a little more vibrant like this. Yeah. And so we have a male and female duck, and then we have Mr. Frog. So these are our pond friends. At nighttime, this fountain lights up. It goes about 4 feet in the air, and then we have lights that run all around this water feature. So, but like these plants right here, all these flowers, the little, I got them all on Mother's Day. The kids brought me a bunch of the little trays. And so these are all annuals, which means they won't come back. So once these die, we'll be dumping them. I'll be cleaning the buckets out. And eventually, when the pool comes down, then we will set this display area up for seasonal. So like um Christmas, whatever the holiday is, and that's what we'll be doing. So with that, so I'm gonna try to kind of go along with it and use it as we go. And I'm not much about decorating. This is the first time I ever really got into decking my yard out. And it started out as just like fountains, and then it grew into other things, and plants and flowers came into the picture, and rocks, and well, anyway, so here we are with that. So we're taking RC back. We're going to the garden, RC. Let's go. Come on, ladies and gents. Let's go to the garden again. we got this shitty old shed that it's going to come down. We're trying, and like I said, we had planned on building it the last like 3 or 4 years, and haven't got it done yet. And it's still damaged from our horrible storm we had. We're going to build a shed sooner, so we never put the new shingles on. But this is the back of the house where we sited it, and we ran out, so we have to finish, and then we got to keep going this way. But when we get the shed built, it'll have this siding on the shed, and it'll be a huge shed. This is a 10 by 12. I'm planning on building like a 14 by 16 shed, a huge one. Okay, so in these grow bags, these are all sweet potatoes, and the plants were all overgrown out all over, so I trimmed them all down. And but I'm not seeing any. I haven't gotten down into the bottom yet, so we're gonna leave these go for a little bit longer because they're not ready yet. The cucumbers, I put the greenhouse wrap back on it because of the wind and bad weather we've had and the cold. And what I had done was decided to replant some stuff so that I can keep getting more and more cucumbers because my dogs love them. Everybody, our whole family loves the cucumbers. So we've got a whole lot of them in here at different stages. Here's a nice one, small one. We got a big one, big guy right here. What's going on with my camera? I lost my lens for a second. Here's a big guy right there. I'll give that a few more days and probably pick it. But so we got that going, and then this side's dug up because I put, I think, 4 more seeds in. And then I put one in that. So I took out all the old and got rid of all the stuff that was dead. And yeah, we plan on trying to keep these guys alive. I've had to do a lot of research on organic ways to cure diseases and different infestations because we went through it all, especially with the weather. And we got it under control back here finally. And so these ones I kept what was healthy still and got rid of everything that wasn't. So that's that. And then our Roma tomatoes are doing amazing. I've been giving them some organic fertilizer, the cucumbers, tomatoes, and the watermelon. And these are doing really good. I'm going to let them get a little bigger, and then we'll start taking these off, these beauties. And then these are the yellow pear tomatoes over here. They look like little baby pears. And they're in all different stages too. Over here we've got some carrots plants coming up. There's a mixed lettuce right here. And I got this covered because I replanted some seeds because I found out and during fall harvest, lettuce, carrots, and different planted stuff that plants in the ground can actually be planted in the fall. So we're doing a greenhouse effect of that. And then we've got our watermelons, all different sizes. Here's the biggest one. I think it's about 2-3 pounds. I got 2 different kinds of watermelon. I planted some baby watermelon, seedless, and then some other bigger ones. So we got all different sizes and stages of watermelons. They're really cute. Here's the problem. We're going to get the first frost before all these babies are ready to go. So I'm going to redesign my garden area back here. And the pallet garden is going to become a pallet garden with a big greenhouse. And I'm going to put it long ways this way behind the shed. That'll be inside of it. This will be on the other side. And then the cucumber bins will be right here. I'm going to try to get everything you see here into this big ass greenhouse so I can protect this stuff and let it keep producing. And that way it'll protect it and I won't lose all my watermelons because we got them in way too late. And then we had a problem with infestation, which I finally got rid of, but I had to treat with all these different methods. And I finally got it under control, went through and trimmed out everything. And that's kind of what we got left. And so they're at a different stage than they would have been. And I'm actually hoping that they're all going to be okay because they went through some really rough times. Let's just say that. The first time I came back here and was trying to, clean up the bed, when I got the neem oil out and started spraying the stuff, there was just every kind of insect I've ever seen come through here. I was like, oh my gosh. And this is our garden sign that we put up, made with the kiddos just before they went back for summer break. So that was a lot of fun. stained the wood and got some silver metallic paint and got all our initials up there. So that was fun for them to do. So yeah, so that's what we got going on back here. And so I was really excited to find out that you can still harvest and you can still plant certain stuff in the winter and the fall. And it's like, I want to say it was like, gosh, at least 10 different things that you could plant. And I was excited to find out that carrots and lettuce, which is the stuff that I planted, but they didn't all germinate. It was some of those amongst those 10. So that's good because, for me, that works so that I actually was, I didn't know because I was like, okay, well, whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to plant anymore till next season. But then I found out I still could. So that's where we're at with that stuff. That is where we are at with all that. So there's still some things still hanging on from the original stuff that I started with, which was just a few experiments that I saw on YouTube for gardening. And it was basically using food you already had to grow more food. And so the original sweet potatoes, now the Bigfoot sweet potato, we named it, was the one back in the orange bag and eventually met its doom being planted and eventually like just dissipated into the soil and basically gave it some, some more food. But these are the two original other ones that I started, laid on their side. You cover the ends, and then when they have those little nubs, then they grow slips, and so that's what these all are. And you cut these off and put them in the water like this, like and then they root. And once they're rooted like this, you go ahead and you put them in the ground or grow bag or whatever, and plant that. And 90 to 120 days, you should have a lot of sweet potatoes. So I can't tell you how many sweet potato slips that these two potatoes in this oil pan have produced, you guys. A lot. It's been a lot. I'm almost like in shock that they can just lay there and not go bad and just, yeah, it's kind of a miracle. It's like a superfood, I say. That's what it reminds me of, is a superfood. So yeah, we're down to we only had 2 plug-in fountains. Both of them are put up for the season, and then we've got the antique fountain up front, this tub fountain, the pool, and then the bird bath. And that's, so we've got 4 of them still going. But yeah, we tried doing that whole putting the fish in this thing, and it had all this algae in it, and that was not a good idea. That didn't end well. So we won't be doing that. But then I was like, oh, but what about a clear plastic tote? We can see something. Ratio, yeah, that thing, I'm telling you. Yes, I did. And that ratio was awful. We were in Riverside when it hit. And a friend of mine, I was talking to my kids, and like they lost connection, and they said they were in a storm and they were out at the skate park. I'm like, oh my gosh. My friend calls me and goes, don't go anywhere because there's a horrible storm and there's like semis getting blown off the interstate. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So we opted to wait. And where we were, it was just windy and rainy, but it wasn't like what was going on up here. And then I want to say like an hour later, we got a message from our neighbor who said, there's a tree on your house. So then the tree between our house and the neighbor to the right split in half, and part of that tree was on our house, like ruined our roof. We had a lot. We had like $15,000 worth of damage. And we live in the lower back part of the mobile home park. So we really missed the worst of the wind was hitting up front. But it's still, it did a lot of damage. So, and we're still working on stuff that we've had problems from when those things were fixed a long time ago that have gotten ruined since because of the weather. So it's been wild, I'm telling you. So what's everybody else doing on this lovely Sunday? Everybody ready for Manic Monday? I can't describe to you how much, not only do I love that song, but just the meaning of the fact that Monday is the day when like everything starts over again. So it's never been my favorite day ever. And Friday is the day you get paid and everybody has to pay their bills. And so as soon as you make the money, it's gone. It's like, so I'd say Monday and Fridays are probably not my favorite days. If I had to pick. And my dogs are always so demanding. They think they need to eat on a certain schedule, and it's like, look, the later that I wait and feed you guys, the shorter time it feels like it is between that meal and the next morning. Of course, they don't understand that, but what can you do? But yeah, at night it's really cool. I like sitting here at night, and all the solar stuff goes on by itself. It's just, look, whoever created solar panels, solar power, hats off a million times over, because the shit is amazing. It doesn't take power. It uses the sun. You don't have to turn stuff on and off. I mean, it's amazing. That and sensor lights, y'all. I love sensor lights. I love being able to turn something on and have it on a sensor when I'm busy, so that I don't have to keep turning the light on and off. So I would say those are my two favorites of lighting. Yeah, definitely. You know what I feel like would just taste amazing right now is a amazing cold lemonade, or even a lemonade freeze. Oh my god, that sounds so good right now. My mouth's just dry. Like, I've been running around doing stuff all day, and I go inside and drink a bunch of water, come back outside, and I'm thirsty again. I should just make myself a big jug of ice water. I try to do that sometimes, because if I don't, I find myself not drinking enough water. So yeah, we're trying to kind of organize things and get things down now that the kids got a house. They're going to need, because it's like, I think 1.5 bedrooms. So since they're splitting it, they're going to be like one of them on the top floor, one of them in the basement, and there's no closets because it's not made, as a bedroom. But I know how to handle those deals, and I already have like 2 of those big like closet storage organizer things in my storage unit that we use to hang like out of season stuff and all sorts of good stuff. So we got to go over there and take all that shit down, clean all of it, pack it up, take it over there so that they have some way to put their clothes and belongings, and organize them into a basement, because you don't want anything on the floor in a place where it could possibly get wet. So these are all metal stands, so that'll be really nice for them, and it gets it out of my way, because that's the storage unit I want to get rid of. I'm tired of paying for it for almost fucking 8 years, and yeah, I could have. I told my husband, you know how many sheds we could have built by now, dude? I'm going to murder you. We need to get a shed built and save the money. Yes. Plus, it'll help the property value when we resell and get it all recited, and then the shed looks nice. I already have it, the blueprint design already drawn out. I saved windows from the front remodel that we did in the front room and took the bay window out. Well, they had 2 little side windows, and I told my husband, I said, don't you get rid of those windows, because those are going to be our shed windows. We're going to have one on each side of the shed in the front, and then the door in between. And that way we've got natural lighting in the shed, but it's got privacy film over it, because I had already like put this film on it for privacy for his daughter's room, because it was such a big window. And so we left that on there. And so I'm really excited about that. We're going to be reusing material we already have. That's saving us like $300 or $400, even though they're small windows. Windows are not cheap at all. And so basically, the probably the hardest part, most expensive part is going to be is doing the cement foundation, because they don't allow you to have a shed floating on the ground anymore, or on pallet, on anything. It has to be on a pad. So we have to basically, I've done it before. I've done the sidewalks before, but you just basically make a wood frame, right? And you frame in your shape, and then you buy cement in the powder form. You get big buckets. You stir that shit up. You get a big rake, a cement rake, and one person pours that shit in the foundation form, and the other person moves that shit around and spreads it around and evens it out. And you do that, and then I think it needs to cure. I don't know if it's 3 to 4 days before you start building on it. But that's going to be probably the biggest thing. If we could just throw something down and build it up real quick, that'd be great. But you want to make sure it's going to be solid. So, but we have plenty of room to have a way bigger shed. And so that's what we're going to do. And then I want to make a thing to where in the summertime, well, either, if I'm going to buy that greenhouse, then I'll have that. But if anything ever happened to it, I would just go with a different version and do it's like this material that's the greenhouse, like plastic. It's like made that way, like to pull the sun in and then also deflect. But you can buy it in big sheets, and then you could just make like a wooden form and just pull it right over the top of your stuff when you had bad weather, and then have it rolled back and the sun available when you didn't want it on. So, but greenhouse wise, the portable one, it's going to keep things warmer. It's going to allow the watermelons to be able to finish, because I feel bad because of like how much time they take. Those and sweet potatoes, out of everything I planted, y'all, take the longest to harvest. So that's what I have learned this time around. Have to bolt subdue. All right, thanks, hon. Thanks for coming in. First cricket ever. Yeah. One the other day, y'all, it was windy and one blew. I don't know if it blew in here, but I'm assuming it did. It was probably jumping and it ended up right on my table in front of me. And this big ass fucking grasshopper cricket thing just crawling along. And I'm like, dude, you gotta get out of here. Can you call Destiny? She's calling me. Yeah, the kids are probably gonna come get what was I gonna say? They need to borrow Bigfoot for carrying a huge sectional couch. Well, I was just gonna ask if you okay. Always gonna ask me something, me daughter. Me daughter gonna ask me something all the time. Not a long extension cord that she can use for a permanent amount of time, then probably not, because I think right now I got one going from there to the water feature. The other one's going from our plug-in, which is on the opposite side of the house of this, underneath the house to plug in the stuff over here, which now that I think about it, we don't even need that over there. Hey, honey, I just had an epiphany. Now that we don't have the fountain up here, we can put that cord back over here on this side of the house instead of having it clear down here, and then I won't need an extension cord. Yeah, so we'll do that. I forgot we had, the fish fountain at the front here, y'all. And now that I'm blocking that off and trying to keep the wind off of us over here, a little more privacy. Yeah. So that makes perfect fucking sense. We will move the extension cord back where it needs to go. There's different parts of the skirting where you can like kind of move it, and he's got a little way to feed like the cord through. So he's like, it's going from one side of the house to the other. And she's talking about an extension cord. I don't know if she needs to just borrow one, or if she needs to actually, she needs one to use. And if that's the case, then I don't know. Right. Exactly. Now she can use this green one thing over here because I got that other thing. But yeah, guys, I'm telling you, it's wild. All this moving. When I think about how many times we've moved the kids and stored stuff and moved the kids and stored stuff since they were 18, I can't even. It's oh my gosh, and not a few of them, but all of them here and there over the years we've helped move, and I remember those days, moving and moving. I'm glad that I don't have to do that anymore. Eventually, we will be moving someday, though, from here and selling and relocating. But that's the ways in the future because we have a lot of work to do here. And I hate to be away from family, but I figured in a couple years everybody will be a little more settled and they can just come out and visit. It'll be their vacation. I said, you guys can come out and visit. Come out to the mountains. Come to the desert and find me. You know where I'll be. Out in the mountains with the donkeys. Yeah. Out there feeding them some fresh fruits and vegetables. I got really excited thinking about the fact that living out there with the sun and barely just a few months of winter where it's just a little bit cold, not even much below in the 50s, that you could grow year round out there so easy. It would be so much easier. What do you guys think about that? Hey, we had another gal that has a channel came on here, and she's from Cedar Rapids. That's the first time that's ever happened, honey. Yeah, she has a gardening channel. I'm sure I've looked at many of her videos. I recognized the name when she said it. hmm I was describing all the things that we'll do different next year, like what things will work better and what.
Right.
Yeah. That's when I was joking earlier. I said I'll take the watermelon and motherfuckers in the bathtub as they keep growing. I'll make I'll make my bathtub a makeshift. Oh goodness gracious! At least it'd be warm in there, though. Let me tell you, those things that grow real big in there, because you can shut the door in that bathroom. You got that heat on. It's like a little sauna in there. So those things would really love it in there. Pretty sure they would. I don't know at what point. I mean, wouldn't they have gotten the couch moved already? I'm so confused. Uh-oh. There's buckets flying, people. There was a bucket that just went airborne. Holy moly. It did. Oh, it's relaxing. What is it? It's a kettle grill? Oh, is it something of mine from a long time ago? Well, let's open it up and look at it. Well, open it up and let me look at it. Because if I want to put it, huh? Well, I'm saying I know it's in a box, but it's all tore up. What got into it? Oh, mice. Yeah, they took the cardboard and ran with it, probably. Well, damn. I don't barely remember that thing. You're sure that's mine? I would sell it, give it to the kids. Why don't we let them have it? Yeah, they can use that until Chris moves there with his bigger girl. Now I want that. I know. $20. Well, it was it's kind of a keepsake. I got that when I had that one really cool birthday party and we made all the margaritas in there, remember? But I mean we could do that again for celebrations, family get-togethers. We do. Right. I mean, I depending on what all I put in that tote under there, I could store that there, but we could put that with the camping gear eventually, maybe. Yeah, I did. I think I don't know how big it is. I think it's a 3-gallon, but it's a great big, one of those thermal, um, drink dispensers. And years ago, I had this huge birthday party in the town I lived in, and we had we had an after party at my house, a big fire going and tent set up in case people got too intoxicated. And I had that big ass thing full of like margarita mixed up. So it was like all you had to do was go over and serve yourself with the solo cup. It was great. That was a great time. I missed that. I missed that birthday. That was one of my favorites, I have to say, of all of them. It was one where it was themed. Everybody showed up. We had such a great time. I had hired someone for karaoke DJ, so it was great, and we did it all at the bar out on it's like an outdoor area of the bar, and it had like a little stage and shit, and it was just we had a great time. We really did. It was great. It was probably the best show of people I've ever had. The majority of them were there from town, like my friends in town, but I did try to get some of my older friends like that live out of town to come, but nobody could really get to me at the time. So, but yeah, that was a great birthday. I remember that. It was awesome. I didn't put my link in, but I think that there's probably not a lot of people that you know want to do any kind of paneling at this moment. I don't know, but it's Sunday. It's a day of rest. But maybe I'll come on later and do just a quick live and late at night and see what's going on if nobody else is live. If I can't sleep, because lately I've been up all night watching movies, doing research, and trying to figure out what I need to work on next, and then basically, um, yeah, and maybe I can do an open panel then. There's usually more people wanting to chit chat later at night, which is interesting. But RC, are you still in here, hon? Are you still watching, or did you leave me? Because I know you're a great person to talk to, and that one time we had a great conversation going, and then we got cut off because I think your internet was going in and out, and then after yours got straight, then my volume did something weird, and we, we never did get to finish our conversation. But um, we could either do it now, or if you want, we could I could come on later tonight. And we could do panel. What do you think? Let me know in the chat, please. Yeah, I know, right, Becca? That was exciting. And she's from the town I live in. She has a gardening channel. That is so wild. Now, obviously, mine's not, but I'm doing it on the side and sharing it with everybody because, well, my channel's about adventures. And even if it's a garden adventure, it's an adventure, right? So when I'm at home, I have share what I can share with y'all and hang out. And when I'm on a vacation, it's always more exciting. But yeah, hoping to be going on a cruise soon if everything works out. If not, then I'll just have to postpone it. What do you think, RC? Now or later? As Elvis said, it's now or never. Come to the panel, or we can do it later if you want to. Yeah, I'm silly today, you guys. I haven't had enough sleep. Later. That sounds good. Because then I can pop in and cook my dogs their batch of dog food for the week because they're in there going, hey, mom, it's dinner time. Hey, are you cooking that? And yeah, I'll feed them and then I'll put up a post. What time would be good? Like 11, 12, 1? I don't think that I know of that Leanie's going live later tonight. I'm not sure though. But I'm trying to think of a good time. Seems like the later ones though. There's all the night owls, you know. There's quite a few of us that are laters. I call them laters. Mm. We have so much stuff to do, y'all. We got so much like outdoor clear coat. We got to finish this outdoor kitchen, get it finished clear coat, and another couple coats on top of the top. We got to get the rest of it stained in, stain the deck, and get it ready for the winter. Um, and then I'm just right now, just grabbing totes and different stuff and starting to pack up stuff from outside that we don't need or things that are as I go. Um, we'll see how it all pans out. It all depends on if I can get enough stuff out of my storage unit to consolidate to our garage area, and I've got covers for the furniture for outside, and then in the winter I just take the cushions off. I put them in these big garbage bags, tie them off, put them away so they're protected for the year and keep clean. And then we the white chairs to the table, they stack, and this furniture right here doesn't stack, but it takes up quite a bit of room. But I do have this cover that would go over it and secure it, and then we could put all of the outdoor furniture together up against the shed back there, and then basically put a tarp on it and tarp it off for the winter. So if we don't put it in storage, if I still have that doggone storage unit, which I hope not to, then it'll just go there. And if that's the case, then I'm praying to God that by spring, when the snow is gone, we can get this damn shed built. Probably cost us at least a good grand to do it, but that's not bad considering what they charge you for ones that you either have them build or you buy already built, and they're not even like built to your design. You know what I mean? I'd rather design my own. And plus, like I was trying to tell my husband, when we do these big projects, then we need to be posting them on Marketplace, posting them so that people that may want something like that built or something custom made, where they kind of give you what they want and you kind of sit down and make a plan with them and figure out exactly what they want built. Then we could be doing builds like that and, making a nice chunk of change building people, water features, sheds, outdoor areas, all that good stuff. Pallet gardens. I'll go help people get their gardens started. I'm a newbie, but I'm getting closer to that next like step from newbie to intermediate. um, I'm making lemon pepper chicken. Listening in your yard looks great. Thank you. Bigfoot trimmed it up, did it all pretty today, and yeah, you're finding all sorts of goodies, eh? Damn, babe. Oh, there's one of our lights. That's one of those spotlights lights, right? Hmm. We should stick it out there in the sun tomorrow and see if it'll charge up. I can't even remember where I had that light, but they call it's a solar light. It stakes in the ground and it's like a spotlight though. It's got one big lamp on it. Um, hmm. Yeah, we found all sorts of stuff, you guys. It's amazing what stuff ends up in bags and places and gets put somewhere and you forget you even have it. So we're at the stage where we're just trying to sell everything that we don't need, that we don't use, get it out. It's either going to go to donation to kids or get sold. So that's what we've been doing with all that. Well, I'm glad I didn't turn the camera on 30 seconds sooner. That was funny. You want to know something crazy, guys? I was doing a short one day and I wasn't even thinking about the fact that he was cutting the wood. Like he was cutting this wood off of a branch. And it was like 1K views in it. And I think that the title was hashtag Bigfoot, hashtag mini saw, a branch down or something. It was really funny. But the funny thing is, like, he realized that I was videotaping him. He was like, he stood up and he turned around, went on the other side of it facing me and started cutting it. Because sometimes we lose our pants because our belt doesn't stay around. RC, shoot me a time, bro. Shoot me a time. Just give me an idea. What are you thinking? We're gonna see how this doggone thing turns out, you guys. Tomorrow I'm gonna go get some. Found a couple goldfish that they can acclimate to aquarium or pond conditions, and so I'm gonna get yeah, I'm gonna get a couple of those and maybe one shrimp, cherry shrimp, and one snail for in here for a community. Oh, it doesn't come up. If Lee doesn't come up, ID 12-1. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah. If if Lainey comes on, then let's go. We'll go up on her panel with her. That's a lot of fun, right? We can give her shit, RC. A community like Bikini Bottom. Yeah, Mary Jane Doe, I got a question for you. So, Leanie's the love bugs, and a lot of people have like a little like thing. What should mine be? The adventurers? I don't know. It sounds like something from the comics. Holy shit. What do you think? I never thought about it, but it's all in fun. It's whatever. I need to get into the studio and figure out some stuff, and I noticed that they changed up some stuff in like the community page stuff, so I gotta go in there and post up some stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna post up the new schedule in there. Okay, so today's the garden live, and then I'll be posting for Tuesday and Thursday, and um, those Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday will be normal lives. I just have to set my times for Tuesday, Thursday, so I'm going to have those figured out tonight. Get those all posted up ahead, and then I'll probably just each week after my Sunday live, then I'll post for the next week. I kind of ran it by Leanie and Maggie, and they both agreed that those were, good days, and that would be good to have that steady time frame planned out all the time. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get on a regular schedule now. If I go on the cruise, that schedule I will stick to unless there's something going on the cruise at that time. But I'll probably go live more when I'm on the cruise. And it may not be on a StreamYard live all the time. If I'm doing a sudden live or don't want you guys to miss something, I'll just do a vertical live quick. So, but I will keep you guys appraised to that because normally by now I'm like so elated and I can't wait and I can't wait. This time it's been stressful because we had not planned for him to be off work this long and not planned for some other things that came up with vehicles and just one thing after another. And so I don't know. The bad thing is if I you're so funny. I know, right? Um, what was I gonna say? Um, oh, so um, they said that I would lose my $200 deposit, and then if I reschedule it for another time, then I just have to pay them. um, I don't know. I don't know what to do, y'all. I don't want to lose. I hate losing money. I hate it. And but I don't know what to do. I'm hoping everything works out. I really want to go. I need to. I need a break. I've been so stressed all freaking summer long, like all year long. I knew I would be though. Anytime my husband's off work for as long as he's been, I mean, he's doing side stuff here and there, but I mean, I'm ready for him to not be here for not in a bad way. Just like I told him one day, I said, "How would you like it if I was at your job every day?" And so it's all good, but yeah, and he's ready, I think too. He's ready to get back to it. Of course, now we have a bunch of stuff we need to get done too because he procrastinated all summer. So the camper, we still haven't gotten up there and got finished working on that. We got 3 vents to install, a roof to coat, a couple more things we need to do inside, get ready for winter. Um, I don't know that we'll get to use it until next season. I'm hoping. I don't know. It depends on how cold it gets in November. We thought about, taking it out and if we get it ready in time and hanging out with the kids, but I don't know if we'll do that. We'll probably just end up waiting until next season, but I still want to get like everything ready for it for the winter and stuff. It's got a cover on it right now, but we got to get our truck fixed because we had this wheel cylinder fixed on the back and it kept locking up. We had it all fixed and redone. It was driving great. And then I don't know what happened after they moved it that one day and then it like locked up on my husband again. And now we got to take it back to the shop and we got to get it running right because we got to move my other son's camper who lives in a town about 45 miles from here. His RV park isn't going to be year round this winter. The city's closing it down, go figure, where he can afford the rent. So I got the idea that with his siblings moving into a house that has a huge driveway in the back and plenty of room for his camper, that if they let him park it there in the wintertime and he can plug into the house, then he can just pay them the rent he was paying the RV park, which then will help them with their utilities. And the rest of them in the house are splitting the rent. Right now, it's just 2 ways, but it will be 4 once the 2 significant others get jobs in town. So that's the plan. And so 3 of them will be in the same space and everybody close by again. So that'll be really nice for getting together and not having to worry about driving to get people. So, yeah. Well, I hope you guys come and join me. I will come back on. Like I said, I have a hard time sleeping at night anyway, so maybe 12 or 1 o'clock I'll pop on. I don't know if I'll probably just, yeah, I'll do it on StreamYard because for open panel. So I'll do an open panel then. That'll be fun. One of these times I told Leanie, her and Maggie, you'll have to come up on my panel sometime with me so we can carry on like a bunch of sillies. But that'd be really great. I don't think I've ever had more than 3 people on my panel at once, y'all. Not that I want 10 or 15 because I've seen that. I know. But yeah, it'd be great to hang out. I love all of you guys. You're amazing. And I appreciate all of you guys coming out and supporting me. I hope to, like I said, get my schedule fit in and try to keep it as far away from. I know a lot of other people go live that we're all subs to, so I try to keep my stuff. I'll try to keep this, out of other time zones. That way, even though I can honestly tell you, I used to have a couple friends that were creators that literally would sometimes on weekends go live at the same times. A few times it happened, and I literally was mod for both of them. So I would go back and forth between both. And, there was other mods in there too. So, but I just went back and forth, and so that I could, cover both and you support both people, whatever. But it is what it is. It's sometimes it's just easier on people to be able to relax and just chill and just be on the one, right? So there you go. So I will figure out a time. I was thinking one morning, like an early morning, like coffee live, and then one live late at night, and then the garden live will be an afternoon, like it was today, or 6 o'clock, I guess is evening. So, but yeah, I think that's a great idea, guys. That's a good start. And there's our cat. It's not really our cat, but his name's Heechee, and he comes over and he's brought paw, and then we have brought foot because my husband is addicted to brats, and he's got the cat now addicted to brats. And my daughter just pulled up. Imagine that. So, all right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna sign off for now, and like I said, I'll post up a midnight or 1 o'clock live. But I appreciate everybody coming out and checking out the garden with me. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.